There comes a moment in every man's life where he has to make a decision, not a small decision, not the kind of decision you make on a quiet Sunday afternoon when everything feels comfortable. I'm talking about the decision that changes the direction of your entire life, the decision where you stop drifting, stop waiting, stop pretending that somehow, someday, things will magically fall into place. Because let me tell you something, one day is the most dangerous phrase in the world. One day I'll start training seriously. One day I'll work on my dream. One day I'll become the man I know I can be. But one day has a funny way of turning into never. And before you know it, years have passed, opportunities have disappeared, and the version of you that could have been great is still sitting somewhere in the shadows waiting to be built. So today, we're going to talk about something very simple. You either lock in or you stay average. There is no middle ground. Right now, as you're listening to this, there are two versions of you living inside your mind. The first version is the one that the world already knows, the comfortable version, the distracted version, the version that sometimes works hard, but only when the motivation is there. That version knows how to make excuses. He says things like, I'm tired today. I'll start next week. I just need a little more time. But there is another version of you, a stronger version, a sharper version, a version that the world hasn't seen yet. And the reason the world hasn't seen him is not because he doesn't exist. It's because you haven't built him yet. You see, greatness is not something you discover. Greatness is something you build, brick by brick, rep by rep, day after day. And the moment you understand that, the moment you accept that responsibility, everything begins to change. Because then you realize something powerful. No one is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your boss, not the world. The responsibility for your life belongs to you. Now let me tell you one of the biggest lies that people believe. They believe that success comes from motivation. They think they need to wake up feeling inspired, energized, ready to conquer the world. But that's not how winners operate. Motivation is unreliable. Some days it's there, some days it disappears completely. If your progress depends on motivation, then your life will always move forward in small bursts, followed by long periods of nothing. But discipline is different. Discipline does not ask how you feel. Discipline does not care if you slept well. Discipline shows up anyway. It shows up when it's cold. It shows up when you're tired. It shows up when no one is watching. And over time, that is what separates the people who talk about success from the people who actually achieve it. Because the truth is simple. Winners don't wait until they feel ready. They move first, and the feeling follows. Now listen carefully to this, because this is a truth that many people try to avoid. You cannot cheat the grind. You can wish for the results. You can dream about the success. You can visualize the future. But none of that replaces the work. The grind sees everything. It sees the days when you push harder than everyone else, and it sees the days when you decide to take shortcuts. The grind knows when you show up with discipline, and it knows when you only show up halfway. And here is the brutal truth. The grind does not reward potential. It rewards effort. It rewards consistency. It rewards the person who keeps going long after everyone else has stopped. So if you want the prize, you must pay the price, not once, not when it feels good, but every single day. Let me ask you something. Why do so many people stay stuck? Why do so many people live lives that are far below what they are capable of? It's not because they lack intelligence. It's not because they lack talent. It's because they fall in love with comfort. Comfort feels good in the moment. Sleeping in feels good. Avoiding difficult work feels good. Scrolling on your phone instead of building your future feels good. But comfort is a silent killer. Because while comfort feels good today, it slowly destroys the life you could have tomorrow. Growth does not live inside comfort. Growth lives in challenge. Growth lives in pressure. Growth lives in the moments when you decide to do the hard thing instead of the easy thing. And every time you choose the harder path, you become stronger. Mentally, physically, emotionally. That is how you build a dangerous man. A man who cannot be broken by life. Now we come to the moment where everything becomes very simple. You have a choice that every successful person eventually has to make. You can keep saying one day, or you can choose day one. One day means waiting. One day means hoping. One day means postponing your potential. But day one is different. Day one is the moment you stop negotiating with your excuses. It is the moment you draw a line in the sand and say, enough. Enough waiting, enough hesitation, enough playing small. From this moment forward, I build. Day one is not perfect. Day one is messy. Day one is uncomfortable. But day one is where everything begins. And the people who build extraordinary lives all have one thing in common. At some point, they stopped saying one day and they chose day one. Now here's something most people underestimate. Small progress, repeated daily, becomes unstoppable. One extra hour of work, one more set at the gym, one more page read, one more difficult conversation faced instead of avoided. Individually, those things may seem small, but over time, they compound. Day after day, week after week, year after year, and eventually the gap between you and the average person becomes enormous. Not because you were more talented, but because you refused to stop improving. You refused to stay comfortable. You refused to waste your potential. At the end of the day, success is not just about money. It's not just about status. It's about something deeper, self-respect. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing that you gave everything you had. It's about knowing that when life became difficult, you did not run. You stepped forward, you fought, you grew stronger. Because the truth is this, the man you become through the process is far more valuable than the results themselves. Discipline builds confidence, hard work builds character, and consistency builds power. When you live that way long enough, something changes. You walk differently, you think differently, you carry yourself with a kind of quiet strength that people can feel the moment you enter the room, because you know something they don't. You know what you have overcome. So now the question is very simple. Who are you going to be? Are you going to be the man who keeps waiting, the man who keeps talking about potential but never fully commits? Or are you going to be the man who locks in and builds the life he was meant to live? Because the truth is this, the world does not remember people who almost tried. It remembers the people who committed, the people who worked, the people who refused to quit when things became difficult. So the decision is yours. Lock in or stay average. But understand something, your future is built by the decisions you make today. From this moment forward, stop waiting. Stop negotiating with your excuses. Stop living like you have unlimited time. Step into the fire. Do the work. Build the man you were meant to become, because the version of you the world hasn't seen yet is waiting on the other side of discipline. If this message lit a fire inside you, do 3 things. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're serious about becoming the strongest version of yourself. And in the comments, write one word, locked in. Because from this moment forward, there is no more waiting, only action.